Hi everyone, this is Lori from My File Addiction. Today I'm going to talk about selecting a rhinestone size to use when you're creating fonts or lettering. And it basically kind of all depends upon the letter style you're using, and how big or small that you want to make your letters. So I had a customer that sent me this design, and she wanted it sized about 3 inches tall for a mask. So before I said I would do it, what I did was I brought it into my program, and the first thing I do with any design that I'm making for customers, or even for just my website, I will drop a stone. So here is a SS is 0.13, so this is an SS10 stone. And she had told me that she only wanted to have the design made with SS10 stones. So I typically start with whatever my customer wants made, and then if changes need to be made, then I will let them know. So I sized this design, and it's about 2.89 inches by 3.42 inches. And as you can see, it's pretty clear. You can see that it says live, laugh, and love. Okay. So when I'm trying to decide what stone size I can use, I will pick letters basically that are kind of enclosed. So if the design has an E or an A or like an S, those kind of letters, those can be a little bit harder to create, and you want to make sure that you have enough space and that you can leave the loops open, so it it's you can identify that that's that letter. So typically I drop my stone, and then what I will do is I'll just manually kind of go and create this letter. So I'm just going to start duplicating the circle. I'm going to bring it around here, and I'm just going to kind of do it, I just do it kind of just quick, nothing real fancy right away, so I just kind of get a feel for making this letter. Sorry, I got auto save on. So I made my E. I'm going to pull it over here against the black background. Okay, I always kind of change it to a gray color, because it just, with a black background, it just makes it pop a little bit more. So if it's difficult to read when you have basically those two colors up against each other, like looking at black and white, if it's hard to read, then it would be harder to read if they were to be using a say a blue rhinestone or a red rhinestone on a black shirt. So okay, so I looked at this and I'm like, okay, well, I don't see it to be a problem. I'm gonna go ahead and tell her, yes, I will make this design, and I can do it in all SS10 stones. So I went ahead and I stoned this whole design, and I took it and I put it on a black background, and this is what I ended up with. And as you can see, I looked at that and I'm like, wow, it's hard to read. And so I sent her a picture of it, and I said, I don't think this is very legible. And she agreed, and she said, nope, it's not. And so I was going to do this and put this on my website, and she decided, nope, she didn't want it. And I said, okay, and I'm not going to list it, because I don't want to list something that, it's not going to make my customers happy. And, I wouldn't know that this says live, laugh, and love. So I decided to scrap the project. But more I looked at this, and I kept, coming across, this, how come this looks so clear? Well, when we're looking at vinyl lettering versus rhinestone lettering, vinyl lettering is solid. Okay, the lines are solid, so that makes it pop so much better, more than when we create with rhinestones, because we have to put these, we have to put these spaces between the stones for our templates. So we can't create that solid line. So there in itself will, our eyes get drawn to the background. So that makes it a little bit harder to read. But I kept looking at this and looking at this, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to do this design in SS6s. So this is my SS6 version. And as you can see, what a difference it makes. Now you can read that this says live, laugh, and love. Okay, so using the smaller stone size allowed for the lettering to kind of open up. Okay, you can see that I was able to do a little bit different style V here. And basically I used exactly the same size pattern. I worked off of the same pattern, so I didn't make this design any bigger than I made this one. But it looks bigger only because it just opened up so much more. So you have to be open to the idea of using different stone sizes, because an SS10 is not always going to be the best choice for designs that you make. It just really depends upon the letter style you're using and how big or small you're making your design. Smaller script designs are very hard to make and make them legible. Okay, so in order to make some of these legible, you have to, use maybe a smaller stone size to open that lettering up. And it's not only script, it's block style too if you get to a certain size. Like here I did blessed, and I did it in 2 sizes. So this one is basically about 0.88 inches. This one is 0.84. So these were I used the same lettering, but because the stone size is a little bit smaller on the bottom one, it made it just a tad bit shorter. But as you can see, the difference between this SS10 design on the top going down to an SS6, the SS6 just pops so much better. Of course, yes, it is thinner. It's going to be thinner lettering, but it's more legible. Now here I went down to about, let's see, this one is just about 3/4 of an inch. And this one is just under 3/4 of an inch. But as you can see, even though when I reduce this blessed, it would be like my live, laugh, and love design. There's no way I would make this and sell this to a customer, and because it's not legible. Now if I switch to an SS6 stone, it makes it so much legible, and you still can keep that small condensed size. Okay, so just be open to using other stone sizes besides only an SS10. So with this live, laugh, and love, I decided to do one more design, and that was mixing my stone sizes. So this was the pattern that I made, and when I use different stone sizes, I always choose different colors. That allows me in my program, I can select all of my orange circles, and I can change them if I need to, or if I decided nope, I didn't want this as a 2-stone color design, I could delete either the orange ones or the gray ones, and then continue on with the stone size that I wanted to use to make it a 1 stone size design. But so that just it gives you freedom instead of having to start all over again. So I think even this particular one, if I put it with these other ones, I still think that this one it's legible, it looks nice, it mimics the original pattern, which has the thick and the thin lines. You can't mimic that when you're only using one stone size. Okay, it's just going to be the same thickness throughout the entire design. But if you wanted to mimic that and you only have room to do one row of stones, using two stone sizes allows you to mimic that style. So I think this one is a nice design. I still think the SS6 is more clear than I would say the SS6 and 10 combined is a second, and then my third choice would be the all SS10 stones. I think that one is probably the least clear out of all three of them. So I just wanted to kind of give you some tips on what I do and how I handle fonts. It's like I said, it's not always a 100% it's going to work. I thought in this particular case I wouldn't have an issue, but after I did the design, it didn't work. But if it's not working, it's not anything you're doing wrong. It's just the letter style that you're using, the size of the lettering that you're using, or the stone size that you're using that is not working with that particular design. So I'm going to put this Live, Laugh, and Love up as a free design on my website, which is myfileaddiction.com. I have a category that says free files, which I have a few different designs in there. It's a free category. It says free files, and I believe it's my $3 design of the week. So go ahead, you can come to my website and download. You will get all three patterns, so you can decide which one you like best, and maybe play around with working with two rhinestone sizes together. You can the pattern will come just like this to create one template, or I have it as separate, and it's separated by stone sizes. You can do it both ways. If you decide that you want to create just one template, as long as you brush in your SS10 stone sizes first, it will fill all the large holes, and then you will be left with the smaller holes, and then you can brush in your SS6 stones. So that allows you to use less template material. Everything's lined up all on one template instead of trying to, you can see if these were two, if you just seen this, you wouldn't even know what that wording says. So this is going to be probably a little bit more difficult to line up versus all in one template. So, but like I said, I'm going to put that on my website, and I will put a link in the comments to my website on this video. And I hope this information was helpful, and have a great day.